Okay, boys and girls, let's get ready to do math message 6.8. And if you're looking at your home links for this lesson, it is page 167. Okay, let's get started with our warm-up. Okay, on our warm-up today, these are some problems that we should be able to do mentally, okay? Some multiplication and division problems that hopefully are your fact powers and that you know them, or maybe they're the squares that we have been working on that we want to make sure that you are remembering so we can build our fact power. All right, 6 times 2 should be 12. 4 times 5, just skip counting by fives, would be 20. And then our 3 times 3, which is a square, and that's one of our ones we're working on, 3 times 3, which equals 9. Okay, on our next group, we're getting a little bit harder. So these are some ones that might be a little more challenging. 6 times 6, which is one of our squares. 6 times 6, 36 lollipop licks, which is our rhyme that we're working on. And 100 divided by 10. 10 would be a square because 10 times 10 equals 100. So our answer, 100 divided by 10, would be 10. And the last one, 3 times 6, and 3 times 6 is 18. All of these are ones that you should be working on, you should know, and you should have fact power on. Okay, the last group is the hardest of all three groups, but they still are facts that you should be working on and you should know. 42 divided by 7, 42 divided by 7 would be 6. 8 times 7, okay, 8 times 7 would be 56. That would probably be the toughest one of the ones we're doing. And 32 divided by 8 would be 4. So the 8 times 7 might be one that we want to focus on, maybe. But remember, you could do a double. 4 times 7 equals 28. And then 4 times 7 equals 28. And that would give you your 56. So that might be one that you want to start working on and trying to remember if you didn't already know it. I'm sure some of you already knew that. All right, let's get started on our math message. And the math message for this lesson is we're going to be working with number sentences using parentheses. All right, let's look at these sentences below and talk about how they could have different meanings. So, Nina fed Tom the gray cat. Okay, I could look at that and I could think, well, Nina fed Tom a gray cat. Well, that doesn't sound very good. Okay, what could I do to make it so that I know that she just fed her cat, Tom? Well, in language arts, I'm sure your language arts teacher had told you by using commas, that helps us to understand. Nina fed Tom the gray cat. So now that we know here that Tom is the gray cat. All right, on the next one, my sister Tess and Kumar are going to the park. Okay, so if I look at this, I would think it says my sister Tess and Kumar are going to the park. So I would think there was my sister, I would think there's Tess, and there could be Kumar. But by putting a comma in here, where sister is, my sister, Tess, would be her sister, and Kumar are going to the park. Okay, so now I think there's only two people going. My sister, whose name is Tess, and Kumar. And by using commas in language or in reading, that helps us understand that. Well, we have the same thing in math, except we do it with parentheses, okay? And when we're talking parentheses, we're just talking about putting an equation within within a symbol. So, if I look at this, 42 minus 4 plus 11 equals 49, okay? Well, if I didn't know how to work that, I'd do 42 minus 4, okay, and 42 minus 4 would be 38 plus 11 gives me 49. Okay, now if I go down to the bottom, I could put parentheses in this to make it sure that I did it correctly. Okay, I needed to do the subtraction first, because if you remember our saying that we have, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Okay, so this would be your parentheses. And this one we don't use in third grade because it would be your exponents. Then we multiply, divide, add, and then subtract. Okay, so if there are no parentheses, this is the order I do it in. I would multiply, I would divide, I would add, and I would subtract. So on this particular problem, here I would add first. So this would be 44. So my problem would become 42 minus 44. Well, we can't do that in third grade. We haven't worked with that in third grade. So this is where I need parentheses to help me out. I need you to know that I'm going to do 42 minus 4 first, which gives me 38, and then I can add that 11 to it, and it makes the sentence correct because it tells me that 38 plus 11 is equal to or the same as 49. Okay, on my next one, it says, where do the parentheses go here? Okay, I want to make this sentence correct. Well, I know 10 divided by 2 is 5, okay, but here, if I do 30 minus 10, that's 20 divided by 2. That does equal 10, okay? So in order to make this true, I would have to first put my parentheses here so that I could get 20. Otherwise, if I go by my please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, I would do the division first, which would give me 5, and then it would be 30 minus 5, and that does not equal 10. Okay, so by putting my parentheses around 30 and 10, I know I do parentheses first, so it becomes 20 divided by 2, which equals 10. And that makes that equation correct. Okay, and if I do it down here, 30 minus 10, well, we just kind of did that up there. My parentheses would go around the division problem, 10 divided by 2, because that gives me 5, and then my new equation is 30 minus 5 equals 25. So just like commas, you can see that it can change. Our equation answer can change if I don't have my parentheses in there. All right, turn to journal page 207. You can go ahead and try this on your own, and if you would like to, go ahead and hit pause now, try it, and then come back and we'll work through this together. All right, boys and girls, we see that we have our parentheses here, so I need to do this first. So 9 plus 5 is 14. I always bring my new equation down, so my new equation is 18 minus 14 equals 4. Okay, so 4 is equal to 18 minus 9 plus 5. Okay, now let's go to number 2. I know I'm going to do my parentheses first, so I'm going to do 75 minus 29. And if I do 75 minus 30, I get 45, but I have to add 1 back onto that, so it would be 46. And I'm going to add that to 5, which would give me 51. Okay? And on my next one, here's my parentheses. So remember, my parentheses come first. And if you don't remember, please excuse, oops, sorry about that. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So that tells me here I'm going to do my parentheses first. So 9 times 3 is 27, and 8 plus 27 is equal to 35. Or we could say 35 is the same as 8 plus 9 times 3. Okay? I'll put my thing over here so I remember. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, parentheses, remember this one we don't use, it, which is exponents, multiply, divide, add, and subtract. Okay, we've got parentheses here, so we know 15 plus 3 is 18, okay, and then we have 36 plus 18, which gives me 54. All right, let's go down to my next one. All right, and on my next one, it is 50 minus 10 divided by 2. So 50 minus 10 divided by 2. I have parentheses, so I'm going to do 10 divided by 2, which is 5. And 50 minus 5 gives me 45. Okay? On my next one, number 6, I have parentheses, so I'm going to do them first. 15 plus 5 is 20. 20 divided by 5. Once again, boys and girls, make sure you put your new equation below it. 20 divided by 5 equals 4. That way you remember what it is that you're doing. All right, this time they want you to draw your parentheses. Okay, so we're going to have to make the number sentence true. All right, so if I look at that first one, number 7, it says 20 minus 10. Well, I know 20 minus 10 is 10 plus 4, but that doesn't give me 6. So that's not going to work. All right, so if I do the 10 plus 4 first, that gives me 14, and then I make that equation 20 minus 14 equals 6. So that tells me I need to put my parentheses around the 10 plus 4. All right. Number 8 is 20 minus 10 plus 4. Okay, I can look at that and I can say, well, it says I do addition first, because please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So I do addition before subtraction. So if I did that first, that gives me 14. And then my new equation would be 20 minus 14. Well, 20 minus 14 equals 6. So that's not going to work. So I must need to put my parentheses around the subtraction problem. So 20 minus 10 is 10, and 10 plus 4 equals 14. Okay, so that makes that one correct. Number 9. Okay, if I look at this and I say, I do my addition first, because if I look at my, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, addition comes before subtraction. So 21 plus 10 is 31. So my new equation would be 100 minus 31, which would give me 69. Okay, so I'd need to have, that makes that one correct. So I just need to put my parentheses around the 21 plus 10. All right, on the next one, 21 minus 10 plus 100. Sorry about that. 100 minus 21 plus 10 equals 89. All right, in order to make that true, I already did the over here that makes 69. So if I go back to this problem here and say, okay, well, I know that's my parentheses must be 100 minus 21. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble with this one. 100 minus 21 would give me 79, and 79 plus 10 would give me 89. Okay? And boys and girls, if I did not have this problem here to look at first, remember, I would do addition first, and I could check and see that that would not work because it would make it 69. Okay? Right, and the last one is, it says, Amanda and Jerry solved this number sentence, 31 minus 5 plus 7 equals question mark. Amanda says the answer is 34, and Jerry says the answer is 20. Who remembered what parentheses mean? Okay, so if I look at this and say, okay, well, they have parentheses there, so it has to be 12. So I'm going to do 32 minus 12, and that equals 20, because remember, I do my parentheses first. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, parentheses first, This one we don't use, which is exponents. Multiply, divide, add, and subtract is less. So I did my parentheses first. So if I look at this, I say, okay, Jerry must be the one that is correct. Okay. So let's look at how we would explain that. We said Jerry did because he knew that parentheses show the part of a number sentence that should be solved first. He first solved 5 plus 7 equals 12, and then he subtracted 32 minus 12 equals 20. Boys and girls, this explanation here walks you completely through what we just did when we did this problem up here. So as you're writing in math, you should always write it down as you're thinking it and doing each step in your head. All right, boys and girls, that ends lesson 6.8 on number sentences with parentheses.